So can anybody tell me why Julianna Miller made this post? She said, rocked, back against the wall, can't see, can't move my left arm. I'll still effing throw. I like wars in there. And I'll always come to fight. Not your point score touch up. Why? Let me stop right here. Let's pause. Why did she say this? Why she make this post? Just out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, she makes this post. I don't know why. I get unfollowed from a lot of people. I don't know why. You see that? Look at her most recent posts. Wait a minute here. This is her Instagram. Now, she may have said it too on Twitter. I can't log on to Twitter. I don't know what's going on. Twitter is a horrible website. Or X, whatever it is. But she made this post days ago. And it didn't have anything to do with it. 5 days ago, posted herself at the beach. What was this? February 7th. This was the pre-fight post. Right before Tatiana Suarez fought for the strap. Remember, she trains with Tatiana Suarez. So at least on Instagram, she don't say much. Miller don't say much. Now, if you forgot, she's on a 2-fight losing streak. Miller actually hasn't had a fight since 2023. I hope she's not dealing with depression. Right? Hopefully, she's just polishing up her skills. But think about that. No fight since 2023. And you really ain't posting much anyways. It looks like she was touched by last night's card. She watched that performance by Cavalcanti and was disappointed. Now, I know what people thinking. Who is she to talk? And that maybe Cavalcanti, her being reserved, impatient, not throwing that many strikes, maybe that's why Cavalcanti is currently still undefeated. And currently moving up in the ranks. Something that Miller didn't get to enjoy. Okay. But I think that's a weak point. Because the fact remains, Cavalcanti can throw more. The fact remains, Cavalcanti can at least go for a finish. Everybody knows when a fighter is going for a finish. It's not rocket science. If you crank up your intensity, I can tell just by watching you fight. I don't need to hook you up to a machine. And I'm talking about this because I think this is a good idea and an important thing to do. And do it exactly how she did it. Don't name names. If you don't want to name names, you'll have to. But y'all should criticize performances like that. But let me finish Let me finish her post because she ain't done. See, I like wars in there. I'll always come to fight. Not your point score touch up. She said, I like kill or be killed. This has gotten me beat, so I will be smarter. And really what's gotten her beat is her lack of physical gifts. She's just not a gifted fighter. She got the heart and all that. She don't have the physical athletic gifts. But look what she wrote. She said, but you can always count on me to go for the finish. Why did she say this? Out of nowhere. She knows it's important. Miesha Tate knows it's important. I see you, Miesha. And that's why I see other fighters, they feel her because they saw the same thing. Listen, ladies, might sound harsh, but this is our sport. Our meaning men. This is our sport. Y'all came over to our sport, to something we do. So basically, we make the rules. There always comes a point in fights where one fighter has to increase his output. That's part of the sport. That's like having a quarterback that won't throw long distance, just refuses. If a receiver is too far down the field, I can throw it that far, but I'm not going to. I tell him, no, just don't like it, don't want to. You're like, huh? So you only want to throw short distances, huh? Yep. No more than 10 yards. See how that disables you. It disables you as an athlete. It's like watching a impaired athlete. Like watching an athlete that can't do something that's required, that the sport itself requires you to be able to do. In combat sports, you're required to know when to increase your intensity, try to stop your opponent. But let's continue. She said, this has gotten me beat, so I will be smarter. But you can always count on me to go for the finish. Because it's fun. No, you don't do it because it's fun. You do it really as a way to protect yourself. When you finish a fighter, when you finish an opponent, you should look at it as a way to protect yourself. They ain't throwing punches at you no more, are they? They ain't attacking you no more, are they? Because you laid them out. That's the best way to leave a fight injury-free, to go out there and spark them immediately. It'll prolong your career. It'll advance your career. It'll get you a title. Huh? It'll make you a star. That's what going for a finish does for you as a combat athlete. It seems like a lot of these fighters don't even have a proper grasp of their own sport. You go for a finish because it's fun. Y'all not just doing this for entertainment. That's not the real purpose. That's part of it. It's not the real purpose. The real purpose is to actually benefit from it. Protect yourself, make headlines, get the highest possible praises, and eventually get a title. That's what going for stoppages do for you. Now, I mentioned before that you don't need the best skills. You don't need the best power. As long as the fans can see that you're trying and you're going for it, they'll appreciate it. That's what it is. And I'm trying to eliminate excuses. There's no excuse for not going for it, especially when your opponent's in trouble. You are at least expected to tee off on a hurt or damaged opponent just to see if they can take it. And we've seen that before. You start teeing off on a hurt opponent, that hurt opponent starts teeing off on you back, and then you calm down because you're just trying them out. Like, let me see how hurt you are. Let's see if you're ready to fall under pressure, fold under pressure. But Cavalcanti didn't even do that. She don't even do that. Go back and watch her other fights. Go watch. She has a fight here on YouTube before she came into the UFC where she fighting this small chick. Her opponent almost like a midget. And she got short arms. And her opponent is helpless in there. She couldn't do nothing. Cavalcanti just looking at her. Just looking at her. Took forever, and finished her almost by mistake. Cavalcanti won by stoppage. Go watch it. The stoppage looked like it surprised Cavalcanti. She didn't know what happened. She said because it's fun, and she said, and I like to put on a show. That's another part of it. That's another part of it. And it's not just for the fans. It's effective. It gets the fight over with. Get this fight over with. Because as long as your opponent is in the fight, they are a threat to you. It's a form of self-defense. Get them out of here. Don't allow them to linger on for any more rounds where they can damage you and possibly stop you. That's the most important role of going for a stoppage. She said, I'm improving, and my heart really can't wait to get back in the octagon. Smarter, though. Hashtag WMMA, hashtag finish. Huh? Why would she make this post? Just out of nowhere. Why would she make this post? I believe she made it in response to Cavalcanti's performance. Now just imagine if 10 other female fighters made a similar post and maybe 5 of them actually mentioned Cavalcanti's performance and respectfully criticized it. That would make the women look good. That would make the women look like they're trying to improve their performances and have a stronger presence on fight cards. That was a letdown. The way the UFC handled it showed you the UFC saw it as a letdown. Look at their Instagram. That was the opening fight of the card. And they had nothing to say about it. They didn't make another post until after the next fight. This is the fight right after their fight. Didn't make a post about the opening fight at all. I guarantee you they would have made a post about the opening fight had she got a finish. Hashtag finish. Say that, Julianna. You know what's happening. Julianna sees this. Many of these other female fighters see exactly what I'm explaining right now. Don't think for 1 second that it's just WMMA Addict who's seeing all of this and who's saying all of this. I'm not the only one saying this. Misha Tate's saying it too. She's seeing it too. She saw the same thing. These girls ain't stupid. Almost all of them were sitting at home waiting to see whether or not the UFC made a post about the opening fight. A new face with a little bit of buzz against Julia Avila, fairly well known in UFC. And they said nothing about it. Why? Because it went to another decision. I said years ago, stoppages is what's going to grow WMMA. Nothing else. Because that's what they most lack. Get him, Julianna. Get him. Boy, she's sticking the fork in Cavalcanti. I can forgive Julianna's record. Say that. Say all of that. She said, #finish. She said, feel free to zoom in on the left shoulder if you want to see a severe dislocation. Okay, her left shoulder was dislocated, so she was throwing with the right. And she goes for it. Now, one thing I mentioned on the other videos, and I want to talk about here real quick. I should have made a whole video about it, but when the fighter retires, I like to talk about what you could take from their career. What can you learn? What can you learn? With Julia Avila, is her killer instinct. She might not be the best fighter, but let her see you in trouble. Let her see you in trouble. You're going to see a switch. She's going to switch. She's going to be all over you. Watch how she attacked Gina Mazzani and several other opponents. That's how she has so many stoppages. A simple killer instinct. And again, that's why she was so flippin' happy, in my opinion. She didn't seem depressed at all. She seemed like she accomplished something. Just surviving the fight. Look at this. Look at her hugging her right here. Almost as if to say, thank you for not having a killer instinct. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline, for not being a real killer. This is what they saying about you, Jacqueline. I want Jacqueline to get upset. I want you to get mad. Girl, you a fighter. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be listening to people being critical of your skills, get mad, and do something about it. That's right. Julianna Miller done made a post about you, criticizing your killer instinct. Let me scroll down to see if anybody else. Yeah, nobody's gonna point this out. Good. They're just saying, hey, yeah, that's right, Julianna, and we love watching you fight. You at least want people to say that. Hey, I really enjoy watching you fight. And that's the thing. Cavalcanti still has that going for her. Even the fans sort of disappointed with her performances, they're still willing to to give her an eye. She fights again, most likely those same disappointed fans are going to tune in again to see if she can crank it up this time. But we can all see where this is headed. Now's the perfect time for Cavalcanti to bring somebody else into her team. She needs like a whole course on finishing fights, on the application of a killer instinct. And I don't even know if that's something that you can acquire. That's like something that comes natural. It's got to come natural. That's got to be an instinct. That should not be something that you learn. Let Wei Li get you hurt. She at least gonna try you out. Like Suarez. When Suarez's knees buckled, Wei Li tried her out. She went right after her. But Suarez proved to still be lucid. So Wei Li dialed it back. That's all that fans ask for. And like I said before, you don't have to get a stoppage. You can get all decisions and have fans satisfied as long as you're going for a stoppage. Because when you're going for a stoppage, you're punishing your opponent. There's a whole lot of action when you're trying to stop them. That's what it takes, especially for the women. There are very few one-strike knockouts. Y'all got to put in more work to get TKOs and sometimes even submissions. Definitely with submissions because you have less strength. And with arm bars, their arms are harder to arm bar. Okay? But some fighters got a serious killer instinct. Look at how much she stands out. Dern is going to tweak out. If she gets you hurt, Dern is going to tweak out. She'll be all over you. Definitely Jasmine. We've seen her tweak out. This killer instinct that I'm talking about is not something rare in fighters. It's something that's commonly found in them. It's expected to be there. You're missing a vital element of your game, woman. I'll forgive you for not throwing a bunch of kicks. A lot of times I think that work against fighters anyways. Don't keep throwing punches. But if you're going to specialize in boxing, you got to have a killer instinct if you just want to be a boxer. Because it's highly unlikely that you're going to get a one-punch knockout. You're not a man. You're going to have to, the majority of your stoppages are going to come from Joanna, Jessica Panay type stoppages, where you just wailing away on them. As a female, you got to specialize in teeing off on your opponents. It's even more so if you want to primarily be a boxer in there. You need to be an expert at closing the show. If you primarily want to be a boxer. She don't even mix in Muay Thai. You're even less likely to stop your opponent. You're less likely to stop your opponent if you're only using punches. If you as a woman mix in elbows and knees, you increase the chances of getting a stoppage. She don't even have that going for her. So it's critical. And again, why don't she have somebody in her team saying this? Is crazy to me. And lets you know these fighters have inadequate teams. That's just what it is. it's common for them to have teams. I don't know what they do. They have so many fighters that they have a system of how they just train them. It's not really a specialized and focused team. That's what it seems like to me. And that's what most of these fighters need. Somebody's going to focus on you and be with you. Make them like family. I think Wei Lee has that with her out of her Black Tiger gym. A lot of fighters got that. But Cavalcanti, a lot of things going wrong. A lot of things going wrong with her style. Okay, fine. But if you lack a killer instinct as a primary boxer, good luck. And you ain't got no killer power, good luck with that. Good luck with that. I'm going to be real careful with how I predict her fights. And that is all I wanted to say about that.